Salve, anyways, I'm sorry about the delay. I was having an internet problem, and Viz Media made it where you have to enable cookies to read the friggin' stuff. So there wasn't a chapter this week, which annoyed me because it would have been Smokey's birthday on the 19th. So we got this illustration. You can see there's Love in the Reaper form, the Ghost Reaper form. There's Shoggoth and stuff. So this is what we basically got. So I wasn't really happy because it ends in a bit of a cliffhanger. So that's a bit of the bad news, but let's get to it. Alright, so chapter 17 is Call of Sea, Call of Cthulhu. You can see these are what the deep ones look like, which is pretty cool. Hey, the guy's getting munched up and stuff. He's the leader of the Cthulhu species, basically. So we'll see what's up with that. And yeah. And then you can see this. There's more of the deep ones. And then you can see basically Panzer, the useless character that he is again. And so basically this guy is the king of the Cthulhu species. So in this, Cthulhu is a species and not just a god. So these are what the deep ones look like. So this was a pretty good chapter. This might be one of the best chapters in the entire manga. It's one of the best chapters in a long time. Basically, they get teleported down here, and Panzer's just freaking out. He's afraid of everything. And Dr. West just shows, man, he has, like, no fear at all. Like, he's, like, fearless as anything. And Chloe and Kai and them, they're trying to figure out what happened. They use, like, a teleportation skill. So, yeah, you can see this is pretty much probably one of the best chapters, you know. So it basically leads into chapter 18, which is Re-Animator West. So let's just get a quick look at that. There's the fucking, I've been waiting for this one. There's the Re-Animator fluid, for those that like the Re-Animator show. There's like some Re-Animator fluid, right? And so basically, he uses a science skill, Zombie Essa, to raise up the corpses. And when he raises up the corpses, you know, they basically have, they're berserk, and they also ultra-regenerate. So all their wounds just heal instantly. And here's Chloe and them, they're figuring out what to do. So this is the thing that kind of bothers me a little bit, but, so Chloe decides to go in on her own. So she jumps into the whirlpool alone. Dr. West is such a G, like he's such a genius that he made a cell phone so they could track him, and he leads them to the whirlpool, which is like a teleportation there. And for whatever reason, she gets Kai's chain, and she jumps in there without anyone else. I think she should have went in with Shoggoth. So basically, Dr. West and his zombies, corpses, are battling the king of the Cthulhu. You know, and the funny thing is, like, Pants is still freaking out. Like, he's like crapping his pants. And Dr. West, the Re-Animator, says something that even if he loses, that he'll just revert to a corpse. And another thing, that has the most potential of any life form. So it's pretty interesting with that. And here's like a quick thing where you can see Daoloth is sitting at her desk. She figures it out. Now, see, you see this little streak, and you're wondering, why is there a stripe on Daoloth? Chaco calls her Mistress Daoloth for a reason. Well, it'd be interesting if the Daoloth is one with the horns, that'd be male, but since she has the stripes, basically it means that she's this. It's a type of African antelope. I'm not going to get into a Monty Python joke. But here's a quick look at, this is what the Volume 1 art looks like. So that's pretty good if you haven't seen with Volume 1. At Volume 2, I couldn't find really a big picture of that. But see how Kai looks on the volume cover, and that's what Chloe Love looks like in the Ghost Reaper Girl form. They don't show her feet, though. And the second one that you can see, it shows her more of a, shows her how she looks in Noel's form. So basically, you know, they give us this little illustration. So he does the zombie science thing, and then basically this guy has no, he really has no time for any of that. So he ends up having his leg get ripped off. Like, a lot of good Panzer's done. I mean, he tells Panzer to see if anyone's still alive and get them out of there, and he doesn't really do anything. He's just basically like freaking out the whole time, and he's afraid. So yeah, I mean, these are pretty good chapters, but it ends on the cliffhanger, and we just got left with basically this. We got left with the illustration. So, you know, I was pretty bummed out by that, but yeah, two pretty good chapters. I think this series is only going to run about 40 or 50 issues. So chapter 18 is Re-Animator, chapter 17 is Call of Cthulhu. Yeah, and the Nala we know is an antelope. If you didn't know that before, now you have like a little bit of an education. So yeah, like I said, it's a pretty good 2 chapters, probably some of the best chapters of the series, but not having this chapter come out and just having the illustration, that's a bit upsetting. I don't know what's up with that. But yeah, so a lot of good action. The deep ones look pretty cool, and hopefully Kai and them can figure out how to get the claw, or maybe they'll jump in the whirlpool after her. It does seem like the cat form has some sort of like spidey sense, because like she senses the danger, because the king of the Cthulu basically is like, I have no time to waste with you, West. You're basically just killing time. But he's astonished that West isn't afraid at all. I mean, West is ready to end up a corpse again, because that has the most potential. So it seems like maybe he was a corpse at one point and he came back to life as a corpse, like reanimate himself. I'm hoping the Panzer gets killed and he reanimates Panzer as a corpse, because then he won't be a friggin' useless coward. I mean, that's like the worst character in the series. But other than that, these two chapters were really good. Viz making their changes where you got to enable cookies. I'm not going to be reading any new manga after that. It's like too much of a, it's like too much of a hassle. But yeah, if you're not reading Ghost Reaper Girl, these are two pretty good chapters, and if you don't like these chapters, then it's probably not too good. But yeah, like I said, chapter 17 might be one of the best chapters in the entire series, or for a long time, and chapter 18 is pretty good too. It hangs out on a bit of a cliffhanger. But yeah, not much really, I can say. So chapter 19 is going to be an important chapter, so make sure you read chapter 19. Thanks, and take